On a cool night in 1806, a group of hunters made their way through the woods that would one day become the town of Clenchport.
How could you possibly know that it was a cool night?
It's called artistic license. Now stop. You're ruining the ambiance. At the head of the group was William O'Connell. After 3 days of tracking his quarry, he was finally about to get revenge.
Several weeks earlier, a beast had attacked the nearby town of Jeffersonville, which we now know today as Tazewell, Virginia.
It was roughly the size of an adult human male, but locals claimed it had 3 heads and patches of fur over its body.
It tore through several homes in a chaotic frenzy. Those who saw it said that one head was laughing, one was crying, and one was screaming.
It killed nearly 10 people before fleeing into the night. William O'Connell vowed to find the creature and bring it to justice. And so, he gathered his most trusted men and set out for vengeance. Welcome to the Many Worlds of Clenchport, a podcast where we dive into the strangest mysteries behind America's smallest town, both here and in realms beyond our own. I'm Ron Cutler.
And I'm Dave Netherson.
We're both lifelong Clenchport residents who've always known something wasn't quite right about our town. In this episode, we're discussing the origins of Clenchport and how a strange creature named the Clenchport Cerberus led to the founding of our humble town. Today's episode is Side A.
Today's episode is also brought to you by everyone's favorite fast food chain, Burger Lord.
Warriors, sons and daughters of the kingdom, as your queen, I will not stand by while you ride into battle alone. Together, we shall ride into battle and... Oh dear!
Don't ride into battle hungry. Take your fellow warriors to lunch at the Burger Lord. Come try the new Excalibur. Find out if you're worthy enough to pull the sword from the bun.
And we're back.
Several weeks passed since William O'Connell left with a hunting party to bring back the head of the thing that attacked their town. His daughter, Maxine, was convinced something had gone wrong.
She pleaded with the town's leaders to send another hunting party, but most of the men had already departed with her father. So, she suggested some of the women go instead. She was laughed out of the Jeffersonville Town Assembly Hall.
Yikes. Sexist much?
Well, it was the 1800s, Dave.
Say what you will about Clenchport. At least we're a progressive town.
Indeed. For you see, Maxine got the word out to several other women in Jeffersonville, and she managed to form a hunting party of her own in secret.
That's my girl.
Late one night, she and 7 other women stole weapons from the town's armory and set out on horseback to find out what happened to her father.
Maxine was a master tracker, just like her father. She picked up their trail and soon caught up to them.
It was a bloodbath. The men had been torn limb from limb. When she did find their severed heads, their faces were barely recognizable.
Maxine feared the worst, but she continued following the trail of carnage until she reached a place that town residents may recognize, Sand Hill Cavern.
Didn't we go hiking there once?
That's correct, Ron. I distinctly remember you getting us lost.
Oh, really? From what I recall, you were the one who said we should go off the beaten path because you said, and I quote, adventure was calling.
Adventure was calling. I didn't get us lost, though. I've never been lost in my life.
You once used GPS to get home from the Smart Shopper because you missed a turn.
That was one time.
All right. Let's get back on track. So, Maxine and her hunting party came across the entrance to the Sand Hill Caverns.
It was clear that whatever killed the rest of her father's men had fled into that darkness beneath the earth.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Oh, thanks. It just came to me.
The women lit the oil lanterns they'd brought with them and headed into the cave.
Deep within the cavern, the blood trail ended, and she found her father.
But he wasn't dead, although death would have been preferable to the state she found him in.
Her father was pinned against the cavern wall. Crude nails were driven through his hands and feet.
Strips of flesh were missing from his legs and chest. Blood and bone glistened in the light of the women's lanterns.
Several of the women screamed in pure terror. Another fainted immediately at the horrific sight.
Maxine could barely comprehend the scene. She approached her father slowly as he hung limp from the wall.
He took a sudden, deep breath. His eyes went wide when he saw his daughter standing before him.
She asked him what happened. He stumbled through his words, barely able to form sentences, but he told her they had come face to face with the beast from the stories.
He confirmed what others had said, that the beast was human, but it had 3 heads that all seemed to be wrestling for control of their shared body.
He also told her that the Cerberus was not the only monster haunting the woods. It was one of many, some intelligent, others simply driven by an insatiable bloodlust.
Her father tried to describe the things he saw lurking between the trees, the things that had torn his friends apart, but his words failed him.
She asked him why it did this to him and where the monsters had come from. He told her that only the Cerberus spoke to him. It told him it was trying to get home, but in the meantime, it needed to keep him alive so it could feed.
She asked her father where the beast had come from.
And what did he say?
William O'Connell said the 3-headed beast told him it hailed from a place called Clenchport.
They searched the caverns for the Cerberus and the other monsters William had seen, but they were nowhere to be found. In the coming weeks, Maxine tended to her father's wounds, but it quickly became clear that he wouldn't survive. She sent the other women back to Jeffersonville to tell them what happened.
By the time more supplies and people arrived, William O'Connell was no more.
Before he died, however, he made one last request of his daughter. He asked her to find the Cerberus and take revenge. He told her that she needed to lure it back to this place. When she asked him how they could do that, his response was simple. He told her to start a settlement on this land and call it Clenchport.
And that's exactly what she did. Clenchport was officially founded 3 days after William O'Connell's death, on September 9th, 1806.
As the town began to grow, the legend of the Clenchport Cerberus and the other cryptids of the area spread to nearby towns, eventually catching the attention of a wealthy businessman named Reginald P. Farnsworth.
Smelling an opportunity to make even more money, the businessman decided to build an extravagant mansion in Clenchport, one that is still standing to this day. It is complete with his personal trophies of the cryptids he hunted and killed in the mountains around Clenchport.
Or, more likely, the ones he created to sell the story. A lot of people believe those things aren't even real.
There's certainly some debate about whether the trophies are authentic.
Reginald met with Maxine O'Connell and proposed that they work together to spread the word about the Clenchport Cerberus and other cryptids even further. Not only would this bring more settlers and business to the town, but the extra help would make the citizens feel safe walking the streets at night.
Maxine agreed, and Reginald P. Farnsworth issued a reward for anyone who could bring him proof of the strange cryptids, particularly the 3 heads of the Clenchport Cerberus.
The plan worked. People flocked to the town, and Farnsworth wasted no time opening a wide range of businesses to capitalize on the booming economy.
Countless expeditions into the Sandhill Caverns and the surrounding area resulted in all strange beasts, monsters, and indescribable horrors being killed and displayed for the town to see. However, when it came to the Cerberus itself, no one ever managed to find it, let alone kill it.
With Maxine O'Connell's death in 1847, people quickly lost interest in hunting for the Clenchport Cerberus and other cryptids. Seeing the writing on the wall, Reginald P. Farnsworth abandoned his lavish mansion and its haunting trophies for business opportunities elsewhere. It now stands as a historical landmark with, may I add, ridiculous tour prices.
Those early hunters chronicled numerous cryptids, but to this day, no one besides William O'Connell has ever seen the creature known as the Clenchport Cerberus.
Despite the trophies displayed in Reginald's historical mansion, reports of cryptids in the woods surrounding Clenchport have become sparse, and proof has become non-existent over the years.
It's possible they were hunted to extinction in the town's early years.
Or they were all the inventions of businessmen who convinced people to live and spend their money here.
Possibly. But we've seen stranger things in our little town.
That we have, my friend. Well, folks, that's the story of how our little town was founded.
Well, one of them.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So, Dave, what do you think? Is the Clenchport Cerberus a real thing? Could a three-headed man-beast have truly existed back then, or at all?
I think so, Ron, and I'll do you one better. It's still around today.
Really? Now how could it have lived that long?
Fair point, but I don't think the Cerberus has been here that whole time. I think it comes and goes, which brings us to our first theory. The Clenchport Cerberus is from another universe.
Well, before we get too deep into that theory, we should talk about the Many Worlds interpretation.
A sharp left turn like that'll either attract new listeners or drive them away. There is no in between.
Well, it's important context. Listeners, the Many Worlds interpretation states that our universe is one of countless others.
So, a multiverse, right? Isn't that overdone?
Maybe, but why would the concept be so popular if it didn't have some truth to it? And besides, any theorist worth their salt knows that Clenchport is a nexus.
A nexus?
I know, conspiracy theory crap, but it's a term that describes a fixed point in space-time where the location is consistent across all possible iterations.
In English, please?
In layman's terms, every version of Clenchport exists in the same place, no matter what universe you're in. Think of it like a stack of interdimensional pancakes.
Great. Now I'm hungry.
Well, it's a rare phenomenon, but when you pack that much power into one place, it comes with some interesting side effects.
Okay. So how does that connect to our story today?
Well, one of the many theories about the origin of the Clenchport Cerberus is that it was a visitor from one of these parallel versions of Clenchport, as you mentioned earlier.
A version of our town where people have 3 heads.
Not quite, friend. If you recall, William said each head was identical. The only difference was that each one conveyed a different emotion.
So what then? Was this one person from 3 different parallel Clenchports?
Well, that's the theory, yes. It's possible that some sort of experiment or accident merged the 3 differing versions of this person into one body, thus creating the monster we all know and love.
I don't know that we love it.
That's fair. This theory also claims that the other cryptids came from a similar tear in the fabric of our realities. A veritable monster mash, you might say.
I hope you're proud of yourself.
Oh, I absolutely am. In total, there are 3 major theories about what the Cerberus could be. Our next theory claims that William O'Connell made the whole thing up.
He told everyone a story about monsters in the woods to hide the fact that he himself murdered all those people in Jeffersonville. This theory comes from Maxine O'Connell's diary, displayed at the Clenchport History Museum and Town Hall.
What exactly did Maxine have to say about her father?
Well, several of the entries leading up to the incident in Jeffersonville talk about how her father wasn't well.
As in, he was sick?
Not exactly. Maxine said she noticed him going out at all hours of the night. She was pretty sure he was sleepwalking, which was making him act delirious during the day.
Did she tell him about the sleepwalking?
She did, but he didn't believe her. That is, until one day he woke up with fresh dirt all over his feet.
Well, that's interesting and all, Dave, but most people tend to pee in drawers or eat shredded cheese out of the fridge when they sleepwalk. I've never heard of someone murdering people.
Those examples are oddly specific, Ron.
Oh, yeah, it's just stuff I've heard. I don't sleepwalk. My brother did.
You don't have a brother, though.
Let's move on, please.
Well, those entries were dated just a few days before the murders. Maxine's father promised to see the local doctor.
Did he?
Not that we know of. The incident happened a few days later, and William's focus turned to forming the hunting party.
If I were a skeptical man, I'd argue that this theory makes the most sense. But we have one more, don't we?
Indeed we do. Our third theory says that William O'Connell was the Clenchport Cerberus itself.
All right, now this is the strangest one yet. How could he possibly have concealed an extra 2 heads?
According to this theory, he didn't need to, because during the day, he looked just as human as the rest of us.
So he only transformed at night?
Possibly. We don't know for sure.
Is there any evidence for this one?
Our only lead comes from Maxine's last entry before the murders in Jeffersonville.
Well, don't leave us hanging. What does it say?
She talks about the night before the incident, saying that her father retired to his bedroom to go to bed earlier than usual.
Well, he was feeling off, if you recall.
Sure, but her diary says she heard him arguing with at least one other person later that night.
Could it have been him arguing with his wife?
His wife was dead 3 years at this point.
Well, what about the doctor? Maybe he finally showed up.
Sure, but if he had, don't you think she would have mentioned the doctor's diagnosis in her diary entry?
So what are you saying then? Was he arguing with the other 2 heads?
Could be. If so, it didn't end well because soon thereafter, the Cerberus tore through Jeffersonville, killing nearly 10 people.
This concludes the story of the Clenchport Cerberus and the founding of America's smallest town. Well, in this universe at least.
For what it's worth, I think William O'Connell was a Cerberus the whole time and came here from another version of Clenchport.
So a combination of the theories 1 and 2.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a big believer in the Many Worlds theory.
Well, personally, I think he was just crazy and needed an excuse to pass the blame for killing all those people.
What do you think? Send your thoughts to clenchport@gmail.com and let us know what you thought of this first episode.
And what about the next episode?
Folks, next episode will be the founding of Clenchport, Side B, where we'll explore how our town was founded in other parallel universes.
Hey now, other universes you say? And how exactly are we going to manage that?
You'll just have to tune in to our next episode to find out.
Well, in the meantime, folks, remember, this world that we see is but one of many.
And all of them are terrifying.